and the last point I want to make, what you made, was that we reverse engineer, and we start from young, catch them younger, and then we move up in age, right? And that's one of the things that, because when children are younger, they're more impressionable. And that's one of the things that Adolf Hitler understood when he was building the Third Reich. He started with the younger people. He didn't go for the older people, because he knew that he can put his thoughts in them at that age, and they were more malleable to be able to retain the information. And it's like in the Matrix, I think it was the guy said, we don't take people after 35. After 35, they basically dead. They're stuck in their ways. Yeah. But anyway, hey, Dre, man, okay.
You said Adolf Hitler took them young. Now, I watched a 3.5-hour documentary on the occult rise of Hitler. This is not outside of the Holocaust of the Jews now, because we're just assessing the science of how you seduce a nation. Because we are required to seduce a nation. So I watched many things of different cultural influences with no necessary forms of endorsement or anything else. But I believe that all information is good. My position in my community, people send me videos of murders and all kinds of things. So if I had a particular kind of weak mind, I would kill myself after a month. I fully embrace my darkness, and I'm presented with all kinds of dark images, and people tell me all kinds of horrific and traumatizing things because they know that I don't speak to other people about them. So just touching on that occult rise, when we start to see images and we understand how the mind actually works, in that we're not conveying words, we're turning words into pictures that men can actually see in their minds, that they can grasp and adopt, because it makes it more tangible.
Yes.
We realize that youth are more susceptible because their minds aren't fully developed. And not only do they more desire the structure, but they are also at that malleable stage to be programmed in a way where it will become secondary for them. So we don't throw out the whole thing. We look at what works and we adopt what works. As I say, eat the chicken and spit out the bones. We're grown men. We're never going to cut ourselves on bones. So we're not going to go and commit any Holocaust. But
that's right.
When you look at the occult rise in what he understood about basic human psychology, is actually what is used against us to program us outside of our interests. In the Black experiment, the 500-year Black experiment, in which Africans, whether you were in America before Christopher Columbus arrived, or whether you were there after Christopher Columbus arrived, your ass be African, and your natural African mind was inducted into the Black project. And that Black project, we have been programmed with malware that has infected our operating systems. Now, just like any virus will infect a computer's operating system, that means they have access to our banks, which is why we can't retain our money. It means they have access to our data, which is why we give so much when we shouldn't. We should be more covert, because now we're connected. We will never be divided. And when we make a formal, structured routine of these meetings that are covert, we are now planning to train the revenant, to improve the revenant, and to improve ourselves and our own internal structures to be applied more efficiency, because we want to get as streamlined and as efficient as possible, so that as we communicate, because communication is making a breakthrough and speaking is wasting time. We don't have time.
Let me say before you go, Israel, what I want to do is, for all the people out there, I want you to be encouraged. I'm going to tell you why you should be encouraged. Because there's a lot that has happened. You've seen a lot of people use a lot of things, from what Hitler did and what America has done, what every empire has done upon the face of the earth. I always said America is like every other empire that has existed.
Exactly the same.
Conquered lands and people, that have instituted their laws, that have a military or the power structure to enforce those laws. Even if the laws which you consider to be are wrong, it doesn't matter. They have the power to enforce them, conquer lands and people. Nothing extraordinary, right?
No.
So when I was doing police accountability and I was trying to tell the black community that they could not hear me because of the indoctrination, right? So I had to just do it on my wife and I do it on our own practically, right? So when you understand how empires operate, that they, you know, when I used to tell our community, you guys are losing because you keep asking, why are you doing what you're doing to us? And I'm telling you, they got to the goddamn position that they're in doing it to you. That's how they got there. What do you mean you asking them why they got to the position that they're in by doing it?
So and we're not their people.